what's going on? This is your girl Nilo Green, and I'm going to attempt to do my first review for you. And I'm going to talk to you about Game of Thrones. It's one of my favorite shows, and I don't see a lot of people that look like me on YouTube reviewing it. So I said, you know what? But I do think there are a lot of people like me that look at it. So I wanted to do a review just from my perspective, and I'm probably going to be, looking at my notes as I go along, so bear with me, and we'll go ahead and jump right into it. So if you remember from last week, there was Hound. Hound was big mad, okay? He was big mad because when he came back to the little village where he had been staying, everybody was dead. Everybody, it was like the village was just pillaged. That rhymed. The village was pillaged. They tore that village up. Even the old guy who was like the leader, he was just hanging there. So it was like really, really bad. So we see Hound take the axe because Hound is like, forget that, I'm about to get these people who like destroyed my village and like where I was living. So he knows there were like 3 brothers. So he goes looking for them. They're sitting around like making jokes, this brotherhood. I think they're called the Brotherhood Without Banners. So they're sitting around making jokes when the Hound walks up on them, and he like kills them in like 20 seconds. Like, I mean, he's the Hound. That's what he does. Like, remember the first season when he killed, I don't know if it was like Arya's dog. I can't remember what it was, but like he killed that thing. He did not care that she was a child. So we know that Hound doesn't care when it comes to, he's about it. He's about it with the killing. So, he's pissed that his crew of villagers were killed and he wants blood. So he kills these people. He keeps walking, and then he comes up on like 3 of the brothers that he was looking for. And, they kind of exchange banter about what happened. He's like, they didn't have to pillage the community like that. Like, what's up with that? Like, that's real effed up. Like, what kind of brotherhood is that? Like, that's real, that's some bull. And so, Hound's like, I'm gonna kill y'all. Like, I want to kill y'all myself. And they're like, well, you can kill too. And so he gets his axe. Like, you shouldn't have said that because I'm gonna tear you up. I'm gonna F y'all up because you killed my village, And they stop him, right? And they're like, nah, gonna be hanged. Like, they messing with him. Like, Hound, just kill these people. But so the most he can do is for one of them to be hanged. So like let the rope, do his job. And so Hound gets like really big mad, and he's like huffing and puffing and all that kind of stuff. And he does just that, and he takes the boots of the main guy, who was taunting the villagers. Because remember last week they were like taunting the villagers. So later on, like, he's sitting with the Brotherhood. They're sitting around the fire, and they're like watching Hound like just tear some meat up. And I mean, eating that meat, it's not seasoned with nothing. Like, they probably took that thing like right off the elk or whatever. Okay, and he is like tearing it up, and they invite him to join them, and they're like, there's more good for him to do, and there's a war coming and he's needed. And let me just tell you this, like, I'm not here for this. I don't want him to be in like any kind of clique or squad. Like, he's the Hound, okay? And the Hound needs to just be the Hound. You don't need a group. You don't need a faction. Forget this Brotherhood of Banners and this foolishness. They pillaged the village. Like, funk them, Hound. The only clique you need to be in is with Arya. She who has no name. Okay? Arya Stark. Forget these dudes. So I'm not gonna be here for it. They left the scene with him contemplating it. I'm not here for that. Keep it moving. Keep it moving, okay? All right, and speaking of, let's move along to King's Landing. So in King's Landing, Cersei is told excuse me, that she says like, okay, you can let the men of faith come in. I don't call them men of faith. I call them the Scientologists. I got that from Awesomely Lovey, but they are like, what kind of Scientology bull crap is that? That High Sparrow mess and, you know, that Robin Hood crap they have going on. So I will always refer to them as a Scientologist. So she tells them they can come in. And like now, the head Scientologist leading them is Lancel. And, you know, he's got the little circle on his head and he is just a part of the cult now. You know, he is just giving up his freedom. They will not let him be him and love the men that he loves. And so he comes to tell her that the High Sparrow wants to see her. And she's like, nah, tell him I'm not here for this. Like, I'm not coming, you know, to see you. And she says he's welcome to come and see her. Like, I'm not coming to you, High Sparrow. Forget you. Funk you. Lancel is like, no, like he said, you either come or there will be violence. And Cersei, because you know, Cersei goes for bully. Cersei goes for bad. She's like, I choose violence. Okay, Cersei, you probably should have went, but you know, based on your walk of shame, I don't know if I would have went. So like one of the little Scientologists takes his axe and like, you know, he don't try to hit the mountain with the axe. And we know that the mountain is not only the mountain, but he's dead. So I think that like increased his power. So like, what in the heck were you thinking? It doesn't even make a dent in his armor. Okay. And so he picks up the dude, like pummels him, rips his head off in true mountain fashion. And Lancel and them look like they are about to straight doo-doo on themselves. Like, oh shit. And serves you right, because I mean, I wouldn't be thinking about that mess. I tell High Sparrow, she said no, and keep it moving. Okay, so Cersei and her crew, they go to the throne room where everybody's gathered. So she goes to like try to stand next to her son Tommen, who I can't stand. Tommen is so bitch made. Like, I can't stand Tommen. I can't. I'm ready for Tommen to die. So Tommen like kind of dismisses her, you know, and he tells her to go over there and stand with the other ladies of the court. Like, you're a lady in waiting. I mean, he just is so disrespectful. So he just kind of shoos Cersei over there. She was kind of, you know, in her feelings. So then he announces that they've set a date for her and Loris's trial. And so they set the date for the trial. And so now that trial by combat is forbidden, it's going to start now, but it's forbidden. So that's like a clear message to Cersei to like try to start. But they told Tommen that she had a weapon. So they kind of find the weapon. And so there her plan is lost for the trial. So poor little Cersei. The only thing I know from this scene is that I'm tired of Lancel, because you was like a hoe. But I think I got it confused, because Lancel wasn't gay. Lancel was the one who was messing with Cersei, so I had that wrong. Loras, who is Queen Marjorie's brother, is gay. So Lancel was just an incestuous hoe, and Lancel is gay. So pardon what I just said a couple of minutes ago. Okay, so let's head over to Meereen. This is one of my favorite I guess plots in Game of Thrones, because I really like Tyrion and I like Varys and their bromance. So they're like, people are really happy. It seems to be, you know, like it just seems to be like a peaceful place right now, because everybody's just really adorning Daenerys, the mother of dragons. So they're kind of walking together, Tyrion and Varys, and they're exchanging the typical Tyrion and Varys banter. And, you know, but he's like, yeah, you know, I got to go back to Westeros. This is Varys. I got to go back to Westeros and like recruit some people to fight for Mother, you know. So he's like, I'm going to go. I'm going to leave you. I'm going to miss you, man. So they kind of exchange, you know, some banter, and then, you know, Varys kind of shades him about being the most famous dwarf in the city, and then Tyrion kind of like shades him. So I love when they go back and forth like that. So y'all need to hurry up and get Varys to Westeros and then get him back so that him and Tyrion can continue to exchange whatever. So later on, Tyrion is in his chamber doing what he does best, and that's getting drunk. And Missandei and Grey Worm are in there too, and so he's like, "Oh, do you drink?" And they're like, "Oh, we don't drink." And of course, you know, Grey Worm, who is like the most disciplined person, and he's got to be disciplined because he ain't got no thing. And so I'm just saying, he ain't got no thing, so it's probably built up. So he's like, "Oh, well, you know, I don't drink." And then Missandei's like, "Oh, I don't like," you know, it's like she loses her inhibitions when she's drunk. But under peer pressure, Tyrion gets them to drink. So they straight lit, they straight gone, and then the castle starts shaking, so they're panicking because they kind of, you know, they toe up, they lit, and then like, oh my god, the slave catchers are coming. Well, I've been watching too many Roots. Not slave catchers, but I guess the slave masters. Well, shoot, whatever they're called. They're coming to get us, you know, and now we're drunk, and this is all your fault, and you talk too much, and Grey Worm's getting mad, and they're getting mad. So they kind of like prepare themselves, like, okay, this is it, the slavers are coming or whatever, they're coming to get the Unsullied, they're coming to get all the slaves in Meereen. And when the door opens, it is Mother, and I did just like this. See, well, my camera started falling, but I did just like this because Daenerys was back, Mother was back, okay? But when she comes in, she's like, what in the hell is this? It's like when your parents leave you home and you throw a party, and like the party's just out of hand and you're so hungover, and they come home and the house is like all messed up, and you know they're gonna kick your ass. That is pretty much how Daenerys comes in. So she's probably either gonna get the dragons on them, or she is going to, let me fix my camera, she is going to like have a meltdown. All right, let's go to Riverrun, one of my least favorite plots right now. And I probably need to go back and watch like the first couple of seasons, because some of this stuff, I'll be honest with you, I really couldn't remember. So Brienne and Podrick get to Riverrun, and they're like, oh, we need to see Jaime. So long story short, they ended, Brienne ends up seeing Jaime, and they kind of like catch up on the breeze, and I'm just kind of excited because I really like to see them together. I don't like think they'll be together, but I just feel like there's a connection beyond battle. I mean, come on, Brienne, she's freakishly tall, not really that cute. Jaime, he got a hand that's just steel. I think they could just be together, you know. I'm just saying. So they kind of play catch up, and then she wants to see if he can get Blackfish to surrender the castle and get his army to go up north with everybody else, because they have 2,062 men that are going to march north. And I know y'all remember from last week when that little girl, that was so funny to me, when Jon and Sansa went. And I really thought that army was going to be like 10,000 deep. I mean, when she said 62 men, I lost my complete life. Like, I just resurrected myself to come and do this review because that's how funny that was. And so, you know, she's kind of like, oh yeah, you know, you can get Blackfish, you know, to surrender. And so Jaime's like, oh, you know. So he tries to give her, well, she tries to give him the sword back because she's like, you know, I have saved Sansa, and so now you may have your sword back. And he's like, no, you keep the sword. It will always be yours. And I just really wanted them to embrace in a kiss, and him put that big steel ass hand like way up there around her and just embracing a kiss. But like, I know that didn't happen. But the beauty of the sword, remember Jaime's sword is Valyrian steel, and that is going to be needed for White Walkers, okay? All right, so Brienne, later on, Brienne goes to speak to Blackfish, and I had to kind of write this down because it was losing me. I don't know, I'm just not really interested in this part. But you know, Blackfish is like, shit, I ain't seen Sansa since she was little and she was tiny. You know, I don't really know who the heck she is. So he didn't, you know, he wasn't really here for it. And then he was like, you know, it's all cool about Winterfell and all that, but like, this is my ancestral home, and I'm not gonna let Jaime Lannister take it. So sorry about that. So Brienne kind of gets in her feelings, and she's like sending a raven back to tell Sansa that, you know, she had failed. So later on, Jaime goes to see Edmund Tully, and remember, that's Catelyn's brother. We haven't seen him since the Red Wedding, and I had to really remember him. Remember, he was to marry one of the Frey girls, and they were like really ugly, but he got the pretty one. And so we didn't see him again, I think, after they took him out to consummate his marriage, and then the Red Wedding occurred. Rest in peace, Rob, because you know you was fine. You was so doggone fine. So apparently from that one night, you know, old girl, the wife, had a baby. Go figure. And so, you know, he's kind of like, I need you to help me because this is what Cersei wants, and he loves her so much, and, you know, X, Y, and Z. So we need you to help us with River Run. So like, Edmund's, what you gonna do? What you gonna do, Ed? So Ed's like, okay. So he kind of gets with Jaime, and they walk to the drawbridge of River Run, and he's like, let me in. Blackfish is like, hell to the no, you're not coming in here. And then like the commander's like, no, because Edmund's really kind of the direct lord, so like we have to do what he says. And so they kind of open the drawbridge, and Edmund gives one more command, and that is for all of the forces to lay down their arms. So I'm like, what? So when he gets in, Jaime and the army comes in behind him, but he wants Blackfish captured and given to the Freys. And I'm like, you gonna like betray your uncle for like a wife and child who you don't even know exists? You don't even know if this child exists. So you might get played, Edmund. But again, it's the Game of Thrones, so what else can happen? And so when Jaime gets in, when Jaime gets into River Run, they are like, Blackfish died in combat. So Jaime's like, damn. And then he kind of looks down, and Brienne and Podrick are rolling away, and are rowing away, and him and Brienne lock eyes. And there's just, again, just and I just think they should be together. But I don't know, because we never see Blackfish's body. You know, Game of Thrones, if you don't see the body, just like I still believe Stannis is alive. Okay, so let's go over to Braavos, and here we have Arya. She's at the play, and she's backstage. You know, she's stabbed and she's sick. So Lady Crane is like, come back with me, my love. And Lady Crane takes her back to her house, and, you know, just nurses on her all night. And I think that's probably like the first mothering that Arya's had in years. Catelyn's dead. I think the last time she had mothering was probably when she was in Winterfell. So she just loves her. So when she goes to get something from the cupboard, there's a man in all black, and she like, or he, whoever, basically kills Lady Crane. So Arya wakes up when she hears the noise, and when she runs in there, Lady Crane is dead. And of course there's that doggone waif. I can't stand the waif. I need her and Tommen to die. I mean, the waif is just bitter. You know, she's giving me like bitter. Okay, let me not go there. I just need the waif to hurry up and die. And so there's like a chase through Braavos. I can't stand this storyline, so I'm gonna just go right through it. And so I don't even remember where they went, but they somewhere, probably in the House of the Many Faces. And of course, Waif starts talking about the God of Many Faces. I want him to die too, in all of those many faces. Long story short, they get to fighting, and she pulls out Needle, and she cuts through that candle, and it goes dark. So I don't know if you guys remember when Arya was training with the blindfold on. couple of seasons ago, so this has prepared her. So she basically like destroys the waif in the dark. She plunges into the dark, and so I think it came in handy. So she went for the waif. Good for you, Arya, even though I'm sick of you too. And so, you know, when back at the little house of the black and white, Jacqueline, I can never say his name, Joaquin, whatever his name is, Joaquin, he sees like these like bloody footprints that lead to the Hall of Many Faces. And so when he gets in there, he sees the waif's face, which I was like, yes, God. And he turns around, and Arya, she's like, you sent her to kill me. And he retorts, but here you are, and there she is. Touche. And he looks like he's proud. Like, dude, y'all play too many games. I'm tired of this storyline. So, to hell with this. So, he tells her, finally, a girl is new one. And Arya, being the star that she is like, a girl is Arya Stark of Winterfell. And I'm going home. So, Arya beat everybody's ass. Finally killed the waif. So hopefully that storyline can die and like she can get back to Winterfell. I just thought that this episode was so the highlight of it for me was of course Daenerys returning to Meereen, because I'm here for Daenerys. I don't think Blackfish is really dead, because when you don't see someone's body, that may indicate that they are alive. I don't know about Jaqen. I don't even know how to say his name. Please forgive me. But I don't know about him. Like, is he going to go to Westeros with Arya? I mean, who knows? He alright, but I don't know. And again, I am not here for the Hound getting in this clique. So, that was this episode. I'm waiting for next week's episode. And I have been reading some different blogs today. And so, historically, episode 9, which is next week, in the past season, those have always been more of the climaxing episodes. So like in season 1, episode 9 was when Ned Stark got beheaded. Season 3, that was the red wedding, Lord have mercy. Season 5, that was when they burned Shireen to death. So let's see what next week is going to bring. I hope you enjoyed my review. I'm sorry if I stumbled too much, but this is my first one. So I hope you liked it, and I'll be reviewing again next week.